Hi, how are you today? So, I normally do my live streams with a 1 minute delay for those who are watching live. This time I'm trying it without that delay to see if it, because with the 1 minute delay on the live stream, the reason I did it was because I heard it would give you more accurate captions that way. But then the feedback I've been getting is that because of the delay, the captions are not lined up with what I'm saying. So today I'm trying it with no delay. And if there's any issues, if we need to, we might go back to the delay, but I might try doing the live streams without a delay going forward. But yeah, so I am sick right now. Like yesterday I was sick, but today it's worse. So I don't feel good. And I also have a lot of work that I need to be doing instead of covering this material. But the reason I've been covering this material and kind of putting it before everything else right now is I feel it always kind of bothers me when I perceive something as kind of being covered up or hushed over, swept under the rug type mentality. It always just feels like something is off to me. And so I just really wanted to document what I was observing just because of having that feeling that something was off and because of the data and the sources available to me. Um, just make me feel like people should be able to have informed choices about the environment they're getting themselves into and what type of mentality will be upheld in a community. You know what I mean? So, again, today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try my best to make this as quick as possible. But y'all know me, I talk a lot, so watch this be 3 hours. Just kidding. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So what we're gonna do is I did timestamps on the first two videos I did. So the first segment of this after the intro, what I'm gonna do is just share the previous coverage I did and click through the timestamps. And I'm gonna click through the timestamps. We're just gonna look at the what the post was that was problematic and what has been said by Red Dress Run. I'm just going to give you as quick of a recap as I can on what happened, what they did that everybody blew up over, and what their response was. And then after that, we will just check out their Facebook material to see update on community commentary. And we'll check their Facebook page for any update, but I don't think there is one. And I'll also show you some material I left to somebody who claimed to be an advocate for Red Dress Run. So we'll see. And I'll show you like why I don't like what they said and stuff. After that, we'll go over the definition of white supremacy and just kind of discuss why I've been using that in relation to all of this. Then we'll look at news coverage regarding this material that I've seen so far. And we'll look at a Reddit thread. In that Reddit thread, they do discuss JD Vance and they compare the situation to Julie Lea of Nyx NYX. And if you don't know who she is or what that's about, we'll get into that too. And I'll also show you guys what the community did about her in terms of, just, considering different avenues of ways community could potentially resolve this conflict if it came to that. So yeah, I'm gonna roll the intro and then we'll get fucking started. Hi, my name is Lexi, also known as and doing business as Deaf Child. In 2022, my company was listed as number 14 Best Louisiana Events Companies and Startups. I have been doing business as Deaf Child since 2013. I have my Bachelor of Science in Music Industry Studies and Business Administration, and deafness runs in my family genetically. Speech is not fully accessible to me. And I've got about 50 certifications in marketing and sales that you can find at noladeafchild.com. Okay, so first up, what we're gonna do is go look through the coverage that I did previously, and I timestamped it, and we're just gonna check out the timestamps, and we're gonna use the timestamps where it starts NO RDR in all caps. For the most part, these are their like official responses. So, we're gonna look at that material real quick and click through there just to do a quick overview if I can. I can't shut the fuck up. Okay, hold up. So,
Alright.
the original post that was considered to be transphobic, and I'm sure it's probably blurry because file quality reduction. So it is clearer on the original videos that I'm showing you the timestamps from if you want to go look there. Or if you want to go look for the Facebook material themselves. So the actual meme though is they reposted on the New Orleans Red Dress Run page. I would pull this up real quick so it's clear. Um, New Orleans Red Dress Run shared a post by William Dan Clark. William Dan Clark said, "These are the folks who want you to believe that JD Vance is weird." And it says weird and it shows trans people. And then it says not weird and it shows what I think they want you to believe is a cis woman, a cis man, and 2 kids as a family. And New Orleans Red Dress Run reshared this with the caption that said, "Yep." So, yeah. So that was the original post that started everything. And if you want to see my commentary reaction and all that, you can go watch this material to see what I think about all of this. After that, in Facebook message, they said, "We're working on figuring out how that got posted from our page right now. It absolutely was not purposefully posted by the folks who run the event." And that was sent to via private message to somebody who reached out to them on Facebook. Okay. After that, on one of their posts, they replied to a commenter where they said, "We have figured out that the person responsible has not been associated with our group for a while, and they thought they were posting to their personal page. We mistakenly did not remove her from this page, but have taken action to clean up our admin rights page." See this yet? After that, they created an apology, quote unquote, post before they took down their Facebook page for a time. And that post was said, um, or actually, the comments may have been on this post. I'm not sure where those comments were as I saw them out of context. I just know that we have screenshots of New Orleans Red Dress Run commenting somewhere for those. But next, I see this post. "We are aware of an insensitive post mistakenly made earlier this evening. Screenshots of this post were taken down before we were aware of the mistake and could take action to remove the post. We want to offer our most sincere apology for this post. The views expressed do not reflect the Red Dress Run, a not-for-profit charity fundraiser which supports multiple diverse organizations in New Orleans. RDR has raised over $2 million to date for organizations and projects right here in New Orleans, and we know this was made possible by the support of attendees from every background. Again, you have our apologies, and we look forward to ensuring we stay true to our history of supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion. See you on August 10th. And again, my commentary about this material is on these videos. After that, and when I say after that, I don't know if this is the order of events in which Red Dress Run made these responses. I'm saying this is the order of events in which I was exposed to this information. Okay. After that, I see New Orleans Red Dress Run left a comment to somebody that said, "We have read every comment, every post, every message, etc., and are deeply upset for not moving fast enough to comment. We have figured out that a previous member of our group, who is no longer associated, still has access to our page and posted here instead of her personal page. We have since cleaned up the admin rights for this page and hope our good work over the past 30 years don't get overlooked." Okie dokie. And then next up, they say, they give out an official statement from their board of directors. This official statement says, a former member of the Red Dress Run board of directors inadvertently posted a personal message on the event's Facebook page. That posting in no way reflects the attitudes or opinions of the leadership of this organization. We denounce any and all inflammatory statements or actions against the LGBTQ plus community. We fully support I think it says we fully support advancing social justice by advocating for equality for all. We're also I had my mouse over that word, which is why I'm saying I think, where I'm screenshotting where I'm reading the statement from, but I read the actual statement in this video. Sorry. We are a solely volunteer managed organization that has not and will not engage in policy or political advocacy of any kind. We regret the insensitive post that appeared on the Red Dress Run social media platform. It was removed as quickly as possible, and the former board member who made the post is no longer associated with our organization. Our event is a social gathering meant to bring people of all walks of life together to raise money for those in need. We have raised over $2 million for worthy causes. August 10th is our 10th anniversary run, and we look forward to another successful celebration that will contribute significantly to uniting our community. The only two additional updates for our PR response from Red Dress Run regarding this were there were changes made to their website, and I cover and compare the changes that they made. I do a comparison to see, uh, like I document the before and after. So the before and then after right here. And I put that in this video and I explain it all. But basically, they took off some of the what you could consider problematic descriptions in their job titles on their quote unquote mismanagement page. So that was one of their what I consider a PR response as well for that website update in regards to the fallout of all of this. And then the last update, they had put their Facebook page post back up. So they took it down at one point that I was aware of. So on July 31st, I became aware of the situation, but because I'd already done another live stream about the Shark Tank thing, I had exhausted my energy there, and so I waited until the next day, August 1st, to cover it. Somewhere between July 31st and August 1st, they took down their Facebook page altogether. And then that's somewhere between July 31st when I was aware of the situation and August 1st, the afternoon when I covered it in the initial live stream. By the second live stream that evening, their Facebook page was back up. So that their Facebook page was back up and their comments were turned off. And I do consider that also a PR move to try and control the narrative to make it look like it's still a positive environment for those who might look at their page but not know fully what happened. And I believe, let me double check. Yes, that concludes what I've tried to do with my quickest recap possible of what has occurred so far in terms of what happened and what did they say about it. So backing from there, in the initial video that I covered this, I do discuss the origin of Red Dress Run and how it began by British colonizers in Malaysia and spread it through colonialism. Um, in the second follow-up video, I covered uh, how income inequality, colonialism, and trans oppression are all connected. I also touched on the violence of humanitarian intervention as it relates to the British invasion of Malaysia, as well as the colonialism of the United States, where we are experiencing the transphobia still today. Um, and then we cover an issue from the abortion fund. Um, and then there was one source I covered that was not related to the rest of the live stream, but we looked at that source because I was distracted by it coming up in the search result for me looking up the Red Dress Run grant stuff. So we talked about that too, but that one wasn't really related. Um, and then in the follow up to that, oh, that was the follow up. So yes, so that's where we've been covered so far. You are all caught up on the coverage now. We also, oh, besides the fact that I also did cover a great variety of community commentary. There's split people. There's people that fall. Basically, I would categorize them in three ways if we want to generalize and summarize that. um, some people are like, fuck all of this. You're not taking accountability. This is bullshit. Some people are like, this is good enough. We got to go fundraise. And then some people are like, I agree with what they said. You know what I mean? That's kind of the general takes that I'm seeing um on here. But yeah, fucking, and then moving on, I'm going to exit that because those are people I don't have value alignment with. What I need to not do is argue with these little dip fucks and just focus on my shit. Um, but anyway, fucking. So I haven't seen any updates today from them. Their comments are still turned off. Their Facebook post is still up. There is no update from them at this time that I'm aware of. Um, Whenever you look up the results from the search results, it's still pretty similar. Not too many updates. I did see a couple of news sources which I pulled up to cover. And I found those news sources from looking in the top Facebook page here. I'm not even bringing up Fox because I feel Fox can be too conservative for me. If I bring up Fox, it's because it's typically the type of community event that I feel like you really have to be going out of your way to spend that in a politically incorrect or controversial way. You know, like sometimes Fox will have accurate coverage on like Mardi Gras events, for example. Like even if I disagree with the concept of the organizations or whatever, they'll be telling you the thing is happening at this time at this place. You know, so sometimes I'll feel like, okay, I'll use Fox for a source, but overall, I don't even like looking at their shit because they trigger me. And I feel like on one level, yeah, you should get a variety of opinions. So there's not too much updates from what we've seen before, is my point on Red Dress Run search. So at this point, we are all basically catching up. Once I provide you the updates I have left, I believe I will be relatively basically all caught up to this point with what the feedback is happening here. So one person was basically saying, and I made the mistake of like trying to just I don't even know, I just like comment like this kind of just annoyed me, and so it's like I feel like I made the mistake of leaving this material here, but I also left it for those who are value aligned, but I probably should have left it on its own comment thread because responding to her with this material is like, duh, she's not value aligned. But the OP of the post I commented on, I feel is. So I feel like I probably should have just made this on my own post. But this, to sum it up, one commenter was basically saying that Red Dress Run is helpful for the community and she advocates for them and stands with them and blah blah blah, and that they're her family and blah blah blah, and we can only achieve help for the community by supporting them or something like that. You know, I don't know. Are you kidding me? And so I responded, advocating for a white supremacist organization that formed and evolved from British colonialism shares where you stand on human rights issues. Now, why did I say white supremacist organization? So, white supremacy from dictionary.com, Merriam-Webster, is the belief that the white race is inherently superior to other races and that white people should have control over people of other races, and the social, economic, and political systems that collectively enable white people to maintain power over people of other races. So I really want to focus on this second version of this definition and how it applies to everything that we're discussing today. So if you remember, Red Dress Run formed from the Hash House Harriers. If you look into how Hash House Harriers, oh my God, I can't say that. Let's say that 3 times fast. Formed, they formed because of the British invasion in Malaysia, colonialism, you know what I'm saying? And that is how it evolved. And that is how the Red Dress Run became evolved in from California to here. So from the Hash House Hashers. Fuck. Yeah, God, that's hard to say. And so from there, we covered that. And then we've also covered previously of my sources on how colonialism upholds income inequality and the colonial violence of humanitarian intervention intersecting with trans oppression and colonialism, and all of that, right? So we've covered this before. So we kind of understand how the intersectionality means it's all connected in terms of oppression. You know what the fuck I'm saying? So that's why I left the comment that I left. You know what I mean? That someone's laughing. She's like, bruh, okay. And so I left to her my sources on this material. And I said the run started as a way for British colonizers to uphold colonialism and whitewash history. Facts. This is a white supremacist organization by definition. And I do believe so because of, we've already covered that. And then she was talking about how she's proud because it's international. It's international because it upholds white supremacist nationalism. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so then I responded, the organization is at the root of being based off upholding colonialism. Colonialism is why we have all the social problems we have. Excusing the organization discriminating because you want to raise money for the organization to get a tax write-off and exploit the social issues the organization is part of causing just kind of sounds like you want to uphold a white supremacist society and don't care about advocating for human rights, but you advocate for colonialism. And I want to note too, when we go and reflect and think about the fucking, like, let's just Google New Orleans. When you look at images of Red Dress Run New Orleans, this is why I say this is a predominantly white space. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And when all of the people who are saying, no, 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 it's fine that we were transphobic because we have to help the needy, they perceive themselves as a higher social status and they perceive others as beneath them. So this is what I'm saying, where I fully believe this is an organization that upholds a white supremacist status quo, and it begins through the formation of how it formed through British colonialism of Malaysia. And I believe they tokenize the people of the global majority or the queer people who are there that just want to party, because New Orleans is what's called the city's playground, that, or the United States playground, or the city that care forgot or whatever. And the reason it's called the city that care forgot is because people decide not to care about shit when they come here or when they just live here. They just decide not to care about anything but having a good time and partying, in my opinion. So that's why I kind of said what the fuck I said on that. Um, and so now moving on, I'm just going to address the news coverage, and we'll also get into the Reddit thread about this whole thing as well. So from WDSU, they made an article about how New Orleans Red Dress Run organizers face backlash after anti-LGBTQ plus post on Facebook. New Orleans Red Dress Run organizers, okay, they're just repeating themselves. Now let me critique real quick, pause. I feel like this should be, come on, are you really that short on time with the data entry? No offense, Shay. I'm sure you're busy, Shay, but do y'all always just repeat here? I feel like this should be something else. You should have a hook here. Whatever. Okay, fucking, But the article, and this article, by the way, is linked in the description of the video if you want to read the whole thing. But it's talking about the growing controversy over the post. Um, and it gives a few quotes that I'm going to read from the community organ around it. Um, so, Frank Perez, an LGBTQ plus historian, said, I think people are rightfully upset. The meme was incredibly insensitive and ignorant. Kimberly Santiago with Out of the Closet said, that's really upsetting to see that kind of post down here. The Red Dress Run account post shared a post describing members of the LGBTQ plus community as weird. The post was deleted, but people are sharing screenshots of it on social media. And if you notice, in the official response from the Red Dress Run board, they say this was a personal post. Keep that in mind. Let that marinate. And then they also say they advocate for queer people while saying they do not and have never done any political advocacy. Isn't that interesting? Just let that marinate. They said those things. I think they said the first thing in the statement, board of statement post, but I can't remember if they said that second thing in the statement post or in their apology post. But I know they said it, and I can find that proof if I need to. Anyway, fucking So yeah, we've already read and quoted on the organization's crawl. In the wake of all the controversy, it's inspired a blue dress bar crawl to support the LGBTQ plus community. What I don't like about the blue versus red is it reminds me of conservative versus liberals. And what I don't even like about conservative versus liberals is and I don't even like labels about considering myself quote unquote progressive or whatever because I don't feel like I'm decolonized enough to call myself a progressive person. I've got so much work to do in my decolonizing journey. I just know I care about land back and tribal sovereignty. And anything we're doing without tribal sovereignty first is fucking bullshit, right? That's where the fuck I stand. And I consider blue and red, conservative and liberal, Republican, Democrat, two wings of the same bird. You know what I mean? Because in a lot of ways, whether or not we go red or blue with your vote, they're still bombing the fuck out of Gaza. You know what the fuck I mean? So, you know, yeah. So fucking, I don't know. And anyway, NOLA.com posted a different article here called Red Dress Run Apologizes for Weird Facebook Meme That Sparked Outrage on Social Media. Organizers say post slipped past administrators. And I'm not going to summarize this whole thing. The link to this article, of course, is in the description of this video. I'm just going to see if we have any quotes in here from anybody else. Okay, so Bill Healy. Yeah, let's find out some of the names of these bitches. Here we go. A red dress run leader and spokesman said the meme does not represent the views of the organization. Hey, he said, this is not us. This is not who we are. In my opinion, then why did he not state who that person was so people know to avoid them for their own safety? Because the person who posted that is not safe for trans people to be around. So if you care about trans safety, why not let trans people know where the danger is? You know what I'm saying? Say it with your full chest. You know what I mean? And is that AAVE? Because if it is, I apologize for saying it. Now I'm questioning if every slang that comes out of my mouth is AAVE, and then I start overthinking shit because, oh shit, and I recently just learned you're not supposed to, it's not AA. I think I'm saying that wrong too. Look, like I said, I'm not fucking decolonized enough for this shit. I wanna be, not there yet. It's a lifelong journey. Um, fuck. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. So, I think it's the correct usage is just AAE now. African American English, but I obviously am not the person to speak on that. It's not my community. Hi. Um, Anywho, moving on. Fucking, I don't know why I'm like this, but it's just how my mind processes information. So, Healy said that any of the roughly 24,000 followers of the New Orleans Red Dress Run social media account were able to post whatever they wanted without previous authorization. That's not how running a business page works. We've already seen the screenshot of the post. Okay, anybody can post to a business or on a business profile's page, but it doesn't show as if the business posted that profile. In order for a business to have someone post to their profile, you would have had to give them admin access. And I know you did not give admin access to all 24,000 followers. Like, what type of statement is that? So you see how the first time they try to act like they didn't know how it got posted. Well, you know who posted it because it tells you who posted it. You know what I'm saying? So that was our first reaction. And now they're saying, well, any one of our 24,000 could post what they wanted. That's their second response. That just feels gaslighting to me. We know that's not fucking true. What the fuck? Are you talking about the fact you turned off the damn comments on your fucking page because you were getting called out for the fuck shit you were doing? Anyway, um, he said he and the other administrators monitored the account and removed posts they find tasteless, commercial, or otherwise inappropriate. Well, an administrator made that post. He said they didn't quickly enough erase the meme. Okay, the controversy is beginning to simmer because you covering it up kind of sounds like you want to protect that person and that you agree with their right to have posted that in the begin with. You know what I'm saying? You can't just like have allowed them to get away with posting it and then be like, oh, you know what I mean? Ah, fuck, I'm muted again. Why does that always fucking happen? Um, so yeah, I'm glad I did fucking read this. Oh my god! And then he says he regrets the quote unquote black eye the incident has caused the group. Well, considering the fact that they previously called one of their job titles "Cop Wives Matter," which to me seems like it's making fun of police brutality, and then to and it's making fun of domestic violence, and it's making fun of Black Lives Matter, in my opinion. To then post to then call it a black eye as a follow up just doesn't sit right with me, knowing how you speak on violence and abuse as an organization. And he said he's afraid the past work of the altruistic event is being thrown out the window. It's not an altruistic event, it's just an event for you to make yourself feel better about the harm you cause to society. All of the income disparity is caused by colonialism. This event is an event that just upholds an imperialist colonial state. So it's not altruistic to then give yourself money, raise money for yourself to then go disperse. And we already looked at who gets the grants. You don't actually give it to people in need. You give it to other local organizations that are actually well off. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, fucking oh, you know what, there's a few people in like charities, like organizations that they donate, give grants to, that actually do quote unquote community work. But in my opinion, all the organizations, like, it all primarily impacts, things that uphold a white supremacist state, in my opinion. Like, they're not doing things like advocating for environmental racism. They're not donating to Gordon Plaza in New Orleans. They're not doing shit about what about the New Orleans libraries that are being closed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not actually donating to community or people doing things that actually impact income disparity. They're not caring about people that are going without homes. What about Unity Project? They're doing things that kind of are have the government funding of being nonprofits, but for the most part are social crews and social organizations that uphold methods that allow people to continue partying, in my opinion. So yeah, fucking Reddit coverage from there. They say, what happened with Red Dress Run? Heard a rumble about a boycott today. And this was posted yesterday. And the link to this Reddit thread is linked in the description, of course. And fucking, so we get people just kind of posting their responses, and it's kind of just like on Facebook, where we have a mixed bag of the commentary here, from people being like, yeah, mostly fuck that shit, to, oh, support fundraising, blah, blah, blah. But, um, somebody posted a cliff notes here, Beverly Hills 70117 on Reddit, and I just wanted to read the cliff notes real quick because I feel like it's a pretty good summary of everything that's occurred so far. So they say RDR Facebook page reposted and liked a very absurd and very conservative anti-trans meme. Irony lost on them being that they run a bros in dresses thing. After being bashed, they eventually put up a weak apology. We are not naming the person who posted this on our account, but take our word for it, the person has nothing to do with us and was just an ex-member with administrator rights that were never taken away. But we won't prove it. But to change the subject to something else entirely, we donate lots of money to good causes. Upon further questioning, they closed comments. They deleted the whole post with several hundred comments. They should have. It involved lots of gaslighting 101. We are sorry you feel that way stuff. That's about it. People want more transparency now about how they choose where their money goes since they have so far refused to do anything but give their word that they are really not like this. But their webpage describing their officers would be considered sexist and tasteless by many. So people who have a rooting interest in them take their word for it, and people who find them annoying drunk bros who puke and tip badly do not. Edit, they just reposted a similar, trust us, it was done by a former member, but you have to take our word for it. Pretty much the same as last night's, but with an inability for others critical of them to comment. So the issue is closed to them and still open to others, but without the ability to bring up alternative points on the RDR page. And then somebody else said, maybe they were using Julie Lea's social media intern. And oh my fucking god, I love these bitches. Y'all aren't bitches, but you know what the fuck I mean. I love you guys. Whoever the fuck you two are, yeah. So that's the main reason I put up this whole fucking thing is to read their fucking comments. Um, but yeah. And then it said, it's got people talking about, giving a mixed variety of things. Someone else posted another Reddit thread. Ooh, I haven't seen that. I just pulled this up. Let's see. Oh my god. And then we got this one bitches talking about, may I interject? These people are close to me. One bad apple can't spoil the barrel is not, they're saying the barrel evicted the bad apple or whatever. And they were saying they've been scrubbed from access to the red dress accounts. And why did y'all try to make it seem like in the article, Billy, whatever the fuck, in his article on NOLA.com, Billy Hilly, or is that his name? I don't remember, trying to act like anybody could have posted that. Are you fucking kidding me? And then they said, and they're saying it's a former person and that person did. But even so, you still need to admit that you are now admitting that this organization has been created off of the work of someone on the board previously who's anti-queer. So there's been anti-queerness at the root of it. Let that marinate. Can we at least admit, like, how, whenever we're addressing accountability, we can't just be like, oh, okay, well, let's get over it. We need to be like, okay, I acknowledge this. How can I decolonize? And what can I do to amplify representation for the community impacted? And I think because they're not following through on that, that's why people just aren't having their bullshit. They would have to actually follow through with reconciliation, accountability, and representation for the people harmed. You know what the fuck I mean? Um, so yeah, I'm gonna exit out of here. That's linked in the description. So in our New Orleans, so right now, before I forget, let me put this little link in the description here. I'm gonna go find right under the Reddit post right now. I'm adding that. Gonna add the hypocrisy is astounding. Let me type this in. Okie dokie. That should be in there. Just want to make sure we, shit, what the fuck am I doing? Sorry. Okay, I just want to make sure that you have access to this if you want to see it for yourself. And for those, we all have different abilities and everything like that. So I know some people, like if you can't perhaps read or see as well, it might be better for you to click that on your own device. So that's why I really do try my best to give y'all access to this shit, even before the live stream if I can. Okay, fucking, So it was also okay. I don't think there's much to see here. I just added this in there. It's basically the same thing. Oh, one comment here says the thing they can't just grasp is that we don't think drag queens are weird. They're interesting, creative, an art form, a social club, a way of expressing oneself, but not weird. What we find weird is being so obsessed with people's sexuality, genitalia, intimate activities, and gender. I'm not the boss of anyone. I sometimes wonder how little we would think or care about this stuff if Christian fundamentalists weren't constantly shoving their obsessions and views on the rest of us, trying to is it codify or codify? Codify their hatred. Sorry. This country would be a lot better off if people would mind their own business. You don't have to live like other people do, and they don't have to live like you do. Just like go for a walk, cook a nice meal, get a hobby, fuck, I don't know, collect some stamps or something. Let people live. So yeah. Um and someone said some people have never had the best day ever at a drag brunch, and it shows. So one person was talking about how it's a charity and they're not part of the organization anymore. And someone said not, and they said not defending, just adding context. My favorite response to that was someone said, "While you were asleep, I snuck into your house and wrote gullible on your ceiling." I just think that's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, and then someone said JD Vance is a couch fucker though. Okie dokie. So from those two Reddit threads, JD Vance has been mentioned, and so has Julie Lea. So we are going to discuss both of them next. So JD Vance, in case you don't know, for context to the meme, um, he is Trump's nomination for vice president that I'm aware of. Why do I think that? He's right, right? Not he's right. I'm right, right? About him doing that? But you know what the fuck I'm trying to say, I think. Hold on. So yeah. And he's fucking problematic, too, because he was considered, I mean, he called, I cannot speak or think, but like I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, I am a bit sick today. Okie dokie. Let's try again. One more time, I'm feeling. So this dipshit said that the country was being run by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made. So that adds additional context to the meme that was shared also. You know what I'm saying? On that post. Just putting that out there. And regardless of if the organizers themselves where they fall politically, if you look at the amount
the
of
opposition's
people,
headquarters. Meanwhile, Nicolas
oh,
Maduro has not provided
sorry.
vote tallies days
Ah! Sorry about that. This video started auto playing. Sorry about that. Fucking if you look at the comments and the responses, the amount of fucking people who agree with the sentiment of the meme and that are still wanting to go to these events alarm me. So I want you to be very conscious of the type of environment you're getting yourself into when you're in those spaces, because that is the type of mentality that is socially accepted there, in my opinion. Um, so from there, I want to talk about Julie Lea. I'm gonna just call her Julie from now on. So she's fucking captain of crew of NYX, NYX, which was a former Mardi Gras crew. And what happened with her was after George Floyd, she basically posted on their Twitter an All Lives Matter, and it was using a picture of a black child caressing the face of a white child, and it included the words "Our souls are the same color." Yeah. Um, and so people wanted her to immediately resign as the captain of the organization after that. And she responded with, her lawyer responded with, "If you're unhappy, resign from your membership." So guess what happened? Um, so yeah, then 50 members of the crew gathered near their headquarters to protest her leadership. And they threw crew merchant of trash. And then in 2020, the Nyx parade ended tragically when a parade goer passed. She was crushed to death, Geraldine Carmouche, by float number 21 on Magazine Street. And the entire ridership of the float resigned from the Nyx organization. And I believe that happened because there's pressure from the people who are organizing the parades for us to move fast. And I know that because I used to be a dancer for the parades. I was a dancer for organ grinders. And I was on the dance team between 2018 and 2020. Um, so, yeah. There's a lot of pressure. I marched in all of these parades. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I actually don't think I marched in Nyx because I don't think we politically agreed with them. But I marched on that same route as Nyx in a different parade. You know what I'm saying? I've marched on these routes. Like I know how it is. I know how these parades operate. There's a lot of pressure for you to go fast. We had to change our routines because they were telling us we were being too slow, and we don't fucking stop moving. So yeah, fucking And the only times we stopped moving is because other shit in front of us stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no way for us to go forward. Um, but yeah, fucking. So that's what she was. That's this. So this is what they were getting comparing the red dress run kerfuffle with, basically. Um, so after that, they shut down the account, and that is followed up with a niche drama rolls on. Racist Twitter comment was liked, and now the account is shut down. This is linked in the description. And so yeah, fucking and what's also interesting is under the Nyx post where the crew posted an appeal for new members to go ride with them during 2021. Someone calling themselves Richard Brua left a comment that disdained the Black Lives Matter movement and advocated white power. And the only one positive acknowledgement, known as a like, that the comment received was from the crew of Nyx, NYX. So this type of culture upheld in our society and normalized in our society, you know, it's got these types of patterns. You gotta be careful where you're at these parties. You know what I'm saying? And she tried to say that it was an accidental like. So yeah. Um, and then NOLA.com also posted another article about this, saying the controversial crew of Nyx, a year of accidental death, membership uprising, and legal challenges. Now, in her scenario, because of the specific events that happened, legal actions were able to be taken against her because she fucked over her members with what she did. And you'll have to read the articles to find out more about that. Bring it back into context, I don't think that, you know, any legal action would necessarily apply, perhaps, with what occurred here. Um, because to my knowledge, although they were discriminating against the general community, it didn't happen to a specific person in order for there to be a legal case for a specific person to file against them. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, but it took the legal case happening, and members resigning and um, all of this PR campaigning to occur for society to realize, oh, shit is fucked up with Crew of Nyx. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. Hang on to that. So in Reddit, back to Reddit, someone posted an Arnie Orleans, whatever happened to Julie Lea of Nyx class action lawsuit? Um, so based on and this is from 9 months ago, they checked the district civil district clerk's records, and so they're still in litigation. This can take years. It's a very lengthy process. So But yeah, a brief overview on the last actions of note. Plaintiffs filed a motion to compel on October 18th against NITS. It looks like they haven't provided any response to the discovery request plaintiffs propounded to NITS with the petition filed in February 2021. NITS filed an exception of no cause of action, no right of action, prescription and vagueness, and ambiguity against plaintiffs' amended petition in mid-September. The thing about the no right of action prescription, that's basically a statute of limitations in Louisiana. And they're basically trying to say, well, too much time has passed, so there's no harm, no foul. Fuck you guys, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, but I've worked for 3 law firms, so this is my interpretation of events based on what I know. And then, yeah, then they said there was a judgment in June of this summer that nullified about half of the plaintiff's original complaint, which necessitated the need for the amended petition. Um, if they don't answer the discovery request, they could get some sanctions, but in some cases it can be seen as an automatic admission of guilt and a ruling may issue in favor of the asking party. So yeah. So that's the update so far with Julie on the legal side. But now also, remember I was telling you like it took all of this legal action and the political campaigning and the PR campaigning for consequences to happen. She did have some financial consequences in some ways with the reduction in the membership. But if you look at this, why were the streets empty on the first nights of Mardi Gras? This parade controversy might hold the answer. People boycotted that shit. Basically, to sum it up, this what would normally be packed as fuck, no one went. That shit was empty. No one went for NITS and YX. Everybody boycotted that shit. And that's what fucking I had to take to make some social change because with her, it wasn't even, no one ever was like, cancel Julie Lea, cancel NITS. Everybody wanted Julie Lea to take accountability. Julia didn't take accountability. Then they want her to step down from being in a position of power because she was abusing her authority. And then when she refused to do so, that's when it came to, well, fuck that. We don't support you. We don't support what you're doing. And then that is how NITS's Mardi Gras parade permit got removed. And that brings us to WGNO source. New Orleans City Council votes to revoke crew of NITS's Mardi Gras parade permit. And yeah, that's how you get consequences. And then we can see here from WDSU, we have another source here, hot seat. Julie Lea does her first exclusive interview with WDSU after her NITS parade permit was stripped. And so, yeah, that was fucking linked in the description of this video. I think I'm gonna do a reaction to this video in a different live stream because I don't want to get myself away from the point of this video, which is to focus on the community fallout and response and PR crisis management regarding the transphobic post from New Orleans Red Dress Run, hosted by the Hash House Harriers. It's so hard to say it. Hash House Harriers. Okay. So to wrap this shit up, I don't really believe in cancel culture in terms of you're always going to find people with value alignment like you. Whenever you put out information like this, all you're going to do is end up with communities that agree with you. You know what I mean? Or you're going to end up in a community you don't agree with until you fucking break and end up and something goes wrong. You know what I mean? That's what I find. That's why value alignment is so important. So what should we expect? What are the resolutions from this? What should the outcomes be from this? I think we need to really reflect on how charity organizations such as Red Dress Run uphold colonialism, uphold disparity, uphold inequality, uphold discrimination. We need to reflect on what can we do to contribute to tribal sovereignty and land back and help Native people, you know what I'm saying, with advocacy. Because we have to stop being over here like, okay, well, white people controlling the resources is charity because it's altruistic for us to control where we're deciding the resources go. That's not altruism. In my opinion, that's a control issue, that's abuse. What we need to do is focus on tribal sovereignty. If your money isn't going to a native tribe, to tribal sovereignty, if it's not going to black people, to reparations, what the fuck are we doing? In my opinion. So that's where we need to think about what are we doing with the charity organizations. And we need to boycott organizations until they put the money we're giving them where it needs to go. Why don't people who give money to these organizations have say in what happens to it? Or do we? Are you okay with where your money's going? You know what I mean? I just feel like it's upholding violence. But yeah, fucking thank you for being with me today. I feel like I'm a bit rambly. So this probably is about as coherent of a conclusion that I'm about to be able to give you at this time. So thank you so much for watching with me today. If I can, what I will do is see if I can just put out like a 15 to 20-minute video tops on the PR crisis response. So if people want a fast recap, they don't have to watch an hour fucking long video to get it. Um, but yeah, the materials linked in the description of this video. Check out the sources. Thank you for being here. You're the shit. I appreciate you. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. You might want to adjust the volume after all of this because a loud music is going to play. So yeah, adjust the volume. And then if you're coming to these lives anyway, I do have a loyalty program, nola.child.com/loyalty. If you sign up for my site as a member and you follow the check-in procedure, you can get points just for showing up to these lives anyway. So I just want to let you know about that. Yeah, about that. Yeah, I always have a really hard time saying goodbye because, you know, saying goodbye really just kind of feels like you're Tom Hanks. You know what I mean? Over here just like, Wilson! But anywho, yeah, so thank you for being here and goodbye.